You wake up in 1582 as Oda Nobunaga, the most ruthless and feared warlord in all of Japan. You have spent your entire life fighting endless wars, and guess what? You are actually winning. You are just one step away from uniting the entire country under your banner. Total, absolute power. So, you decide to take a nice, relaxing vacation at the Honno-ji Temple in Kyoto. It is just you, a hot cup of tea, and about 30 of your closest bodyguards. You are the most powerful man in the country. What could possibly go wrong? Well, suddenly, you smell smoke. A lot of smoke. You slide open the paper door, annoyed, expecting to yell at someone for burning the morning rice. Instead, you see an army. A massive, terrifying army. 13,000 heavily armed samurai are surrounding your tiny temple. And leading them? Akechi Mitsuhide, your top general, your most trusted right-hand man. Yeah, he wants your head. He has literally brought an army to kill his boss. Your goal? Survive. Or, at least, die like a total legend. But the temple is already on fire, and your guards are outnumbered roughly 400 to 1. And you are literally standing there in your sleeping robes. The clock is ticking. What do you do first? First things first, you need a weapon. You grab your trusty katana, still rocking your pajamas. Suddenly, your loyal teenage bodyguard, Mori Ranmaru, bursts into the room. He looks like he just saw a ghost. My lord, it is Akechi. He has 13,000 men outside. We have, well, about 30 guys. You do the math. 30 against 13,000. Those are terrible odds, even for a military genius. Outside, Mitsuhide isn't taking any chances. He knows exactly how dangerous you are. He orders his archers to rain flaming arrows onto the temple. The paper walls catch fire instantly. You duck and weave through the burning room. Okay, your vacation is officially ruined. You and Ranmaru sprint down the wooden corridor looking for the back exit. Maybe you can slip away in the chaos. You carefully peek through the smoke at the rear gate. But Mitsuhide is not an idiot. The back exit is completely blocked by a solid wall of spearmen. There is literally zero way out. You facepalm. You are the man who conquered half of Japan, and you are going to die in a burning bed and breakfast. The smoke is getting incredibly thick. Breathing is becoming a real challenge, and the roof is starting to cave in. If there is absolutely no escape, there is only one option left. You tie back your long, sleeping sleeves. You grip your blade tightly. If you are going down tonight, you are taking as many of these traitors with you as possible. You, Ranmaru, and your 30 guards prepare to make one of the most legendary last stands in samurai history. The enemy charges in. You are 48 years old, but right now, you fight like an absolute demon. Ranmaru and your royal guards are elite. They slice through the first wave of attackers like butter. For a brief, crazy second, you actually think you might be able to fight your way out of this. But outside, Mitsuhide is getting impatient. He has an empire to steal, and he is on a tight schedule. He orders his troops to stop fighting in the narrow halls and just burn the entire building down. The entire wooden ceiling groans. Burning beams start crashing down all around you. The enemy isn't just the soldiers anymore. It is the temple itself. The heat is unimaginable. The thick black smoke is blinding your eyes and choking your lungs. Ranmaru takes a hit to the arm, but he keeps swinging his spear, screaming his absolute loyalty to you. You step toward the courtyard to find a way out, and an arrow immediately grazes your shoulder. Going outside means instantly becoming a human pincushion for 1,000 archers. But staying in the corridor means burning alive in the next 2 minutes. You make the only tactical choice a genius warlord has left. You grab Ranmaru and order a full retreat. You fall back deeper into the blazing Honno-ji, moving toward the inner sanctum. You slam the heavy wooden doors shut behind you. There is no other exit. This is the end of the line. You lean against the heavy wooden door, trying to catch your breath. You are completely trapped. Outside, You can hear the chaotic sounds of clashing steel. Your 30 loyal guards are giving their lives just to buy you a few extra minutes, and leading them is young Mori Ranmaru. He fights like an absolute beast, holding the corridor single-handedly. But bravery doesn't make you immortal, and it certainly doesn't make you arrow-proof. He looks back at the closed doors. He knows he isn't going to make it out of this temple alive, but as long as his boss has enough time to die with honor, he is perfectly fine with that. Eventually, the sheer numbers completely overwhelm him. The corridor falls. Inside the room, the sounds of fighting suddenly stop. Silence. Just the crackling of the burning wood. You know exactly what that means. They are all gone. Then, the heavy pounding begins. Mitsuhide's men are trying to break down the door. They want the ultimate prize. He needs to show everyone the severed head of Oda Nobunaga to prove he is the new boss. But you are Oda Nobunaga. You don't just hand over your head to a traitor. The panic is completely gone. You sit down in the center of the burning room and draw a short blade. If anyone is going to end your life tonight, it is going to be you. So, this is it. Seppuku. The ultimate, honorable samurai way out. You are not going to lie. Stabbing yourself in the stomach sounds incredibly painful. But letting Mitsuhide capture you and parade your head on a spike? That sounds way worse. You are Oda Nobunaga. You do not give your enemies the satisfaction of a victory. But just before you do the deed, you realize one final, massive problem. If you just die right here, they will still break in, find your body, and take your head anyway. You need to make sure absolutely nothing is left for them to find. Not even a fingernail. So you jump up and start frantically tossing burning paper screens and wooden furniture around your own spot. You are literally building a fire within a fire. It is a masterpiece of destruction. You sit back down. The heat is so intense, your eyebrows are probably singing off. You take one last look at the crumbling world around you. It was a good run. Suddenly, the heavy wooden doors finally give way and crash to the floor. Mitsuhide's men rush in, expecting to find a terrified warlord begging for mercy. Instead, they see the Demon King of Japan sitting perfectly still in a wall of flames, giving them one final cheeky smirk. You plunge the blade, exactly as the burning roof collapses, burying you and your legend forever. The fire eventually burns out. By dawn, the magnificent Honno-ji temple is nothing but a pile of smoking ash. Akechi Mitsuhide is furious. He desperately needs your head to prove to the world that the Demon King is actually dead. His soldiers dig through the rubble for hours, turning over every single charred piece of wood. But they find absolutely nothing. No body, no armor, and most importantly, no head. By burning yourself to ashes, you completely robbed him of his prize. And without proof, nobody respected his rebellion. Enter Toyotomi Hideyoshi, your other top general. He gets the news while fighting hundreds of miles away. He immediately makes peace with his enemies, turns his entire army around, and sprints back at superhuman speed. He catches Mitsuhide completely off guard and absolutely crushes his forces. Mitsuhide's reign as the new boss of Japan lasted exactly 13 days. History literally calls him the 13-day shogun. But as for you, by destroying your own body, your legacy became completely immortal. Hideyoshi takes over your army, finishes the job you started, and eventually unifies Japan in your name. You didn't get to sit on the final throne, but you built the entire chair. And the craziest part? To this exact day, historians have never found a single trace of your remains at Honno-ji. You woke up as a target in pajamas, but you went out like an absolute boss. So, what historical disaster do you want to wake up in next? Let me know down below. Hold up. Before we roll the credits, we need to talk about the elephant in the room. Why did Akechi Mitsuhide betray me in the first place? Historians have been arguing about this for over 400 years. Theory number 1. Personal grudge. Apparently, I was a terrible boss. I supposedly kicked him, insulted his mother, and threw his food. Theory number 2. Pure ambition. He saw the top spot was unguarded, and he just went for the throne. Theory number 3. The emperor made him do it. Some say the imperial court was terrified of me taking over completely. The truth? Nobody actually knows. Mitsuhide took that secret to the grave just 2 weeks later. Which brings us to the second crazy thing. Hideyoshi's Great Chugoku return. When Hideyoshi heard I was dead, his army was 200 kilometers away. That is a massive distance for medieval soldiers on foot. Normally, moving an entire army that far takes weeks. Hideyoshi did it in days. How? Money. He threw massive amounts of gold at local peasants to set up food stations and clear the roads ahead of time. His soldiers literally dropped their heavy armor and ran a historical marathon. They were exhausted, but they made it. Mitsuhide thought he had weeks to prepare. When Hideyoshi's banners appeared over the hill, Mitsuhide basically choked on his tea. This led to the Battle of Yamazaki. Despite being tired, Hideyoshi's men were fueled by pure rage and loyalty. Mitsuhide's army collapsed in hours. He tried to flee into the woods under the cover of darkness, and rumor has it, he was killed by a random peasant with a bamboo spear. Talk about bad karma. So, what have we learned from your brief, fiery vacation in the Sengoku Jidai? Time Traveler's Survival Rule number 1. Always double-check your hotel's fire escape routes. Rule number 2. Maybe don't physically kick the guy who controls half of your military. Just a thought. Human resources management is important, people. And rule number 3. Invest in fireproof pajamas. You literally never know. But jokes aside, you almost unified a completely broken country. You changed warfare forever. You built the foundation of modern Japan. Without you, the samurai era might have dragged on for centuries. And honestly, going out in a blaze of glory while completely outsmarting your assassin is a pretty decent way to end the game. That is it for today's episode on the Time Throne. Thanks for surviving with me. If you enjoyed waking up as a doomed samurai, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next historical disaster. Comment below. Would you have fought your way out or accepted your fate like a true warrior? Check out this video right here where you wake up on the sinking Titanic. Or click this one to try and survive the Black Death as a plague doctor. Until next time, keep your swords sharp and your enemies closer. See ya!